Hey guys, how's things? Long time no see. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Stuart, and today I thought I'd bring you my first Q&A. It's not going to be quite as long as I was hoping for, because I haven't quite got as much questions as I was hoping for. I've only got the 4. However, it means I can go into a lot more detail about them. From 4 close friends of mine. The first question is from TTP, who is Taller the Pro Gamer, who is actually a Twitch streamer, mainly. And is one of the only males that I actually follow on Twitch. And his question is, how did me and my partner Amy meet? It's a little bit of an unusual story in the fact of it wasn't through mutual friends or through disco or bar or club or anything like that. It was actually through my outside job, if you like. I'm a qualified lifeguard, qualified fitness instructor, and I can also run personal training programs. And I was running a month training program for a good friend of mine, whose girlfriend at the time was Amy, unbeknownst to me. And Amy was the one paying for him to have my programs. Bear in mind, I was only charging for fuel at this point. I wasn't charging for the program itself. And she was paying the fuel. This was the last program of the month. And we got a football tournament right after it. AstroTurf football tournament. And unbeknownst to me, my friend had left a lot of his equipment at Amy's. So as we went to the football tournament, I went to pick his gear up. And that's basically how we met. Then we started growing closer. We were invited on a holiday. I say holiday in the light term of it. I'll explain longer and more detail about that in later videos. But that pretty much convinced Amy that she made a mistake being with my partner, being with my friend, her partner, my friend at the time. So it grew closer, and eventually it got to the point where he pretty much made a rod for his own back, pretty much. So that was how me and Amy met. The next question is from a very dear friend of mine, who is AJ, Abby stroke AJ Bait Plays, who is one of the best Twitch streamers that I actually follow, and who is my first ever streamer that I followed. And her question is, what are mine and Amy's pastimes? Which is probably the easiest question of the 4 for me to answer. Which is basically football, soccer for me. I use it as a pastime because I can't play it anymore due to an injury. I do still follow and have followed since I can remember. I first started playing when I was about 6 or 7. I can't actually remember now. And I finished playing in 2016, at the end of 2016. So, well, yeah, I finished playing the end of 2016. But the day we met was actually a charity tournament that I was offered. As far as other pastimes for me, music is quite heavy for me. Music's very heavy for me. A pastime of mine was I played lead electric guitar for on and off for 4 years. Spells of 2 years. But I haven't played that for about, well, it's got to be nearly 4.5 to 5 years now since I've actually picked up a lead guitar. But I can play. Only certain songs. And I've got my favourite artist. As far as Amy's concerned, pastimes for her are pretty similar, to be fair. One's Liverpool. She's a big Liverpool fan. And the other one used to be family. Again, I'll get into that in a later video. But that ain't a pretty story. So we pretty much share the same pastimes. So thanks a lot for the question, AJ. I hope that answers it. The next one is one of my favourite questions on the list, and it's from a friend that's also a follower of both AJ and TTP, and it's hi. And his question is, what's the most cool thing either of us have done? Again, that's pretty easy for me to answer. And I also know what Amy's coolest thing is. I know it may sound a bit cheesy, but her coolest thing was coming with me, was being with me. Because of her background. And also watching me footballing was also one of the coolest things for her. As far as I go, I have 3. One is learning to drive. That in itself is one of the coolest things I've done. The freedom you get driving. For example, if I've had a rotten day, which I had the last couple of days, if I've had a rotten couple of weeks, or if I just want to get away, just cool off a bit, I can just pick somewhere, get in a car and drive. There's so much freedom when you drive, it's unreal. It's one of my favourite things to do. Both nighttime and daytime, doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me when, doesn't bother me where. I just love it. The freedom of being able to pick somewhere and just disappear for 2 to 3 hours a day, or for the full day if you've got enough planned. The second thing is I went to a music gig in 2011. The only one I've ever been to, which, if you don't know me, I'm a huge Swift fan. Taylor Swift fan, and have been since she started. I have every album that she's made, both deluxe and normal. And I went to see her in 2011, and it was one of the most jaw-dropping things I've ever witnessed. Wasn't frightening at all. Wasn't frightening whatsoever. To be fair, I can't remember a lot of it, because it seemed to go by so fast it was unreal. But it was one of the best things I've ever been a part of. And if I could afford it, which is a long story, I wouldn't hesitate to go again. The third and the biggest one for me, as far as cool things go, is I had an email in 2014, start of 2014, from the Disabled Olympic Committee, because I was playing for a disabled, disabled 7-a-side and a disabled 11-a-side, because it was the same club. But I was drafted on the shortlist for the Rio Games, the Rio Disability Games, because apparently, so come the email called, there was a scout that come down to where I was playing, apparently, a disguised scout. I still don't know who it was, and quite honestly I couldn't care less, to be quite fair. I believe I was third reserve, I believe. So obviously I never got there, but it was so cool to be given the opportunity of being on a reserve list for something like that. So hi, I hope that answers your question nicely. The last question is from one of TTP's good friends, which is Dooms. DOOMZ. And his question is, how has the quarantine, because I live in the UK and he's American, as far as I believe, how has the quarantine affected me and Amy, together and separately? As far as together goes, it hasn't. It hasn't affected me. It hasn't affected us together at all, because what we used to do together hasn't changed. All we used to do was we'd go out together probably twice a week, either take a walk, or we'd go up to the local club, or we'd do something together every night, get a bit of fresh air. So that hasn't changed. And we did shopping once a week, and that hasn't changed. And that's pretty much all we do, really. Maybe have a couple of friends over. So I suppose it affected that a little bit, but it hasn't affected us going about the lives at all. As far as separate goes, with Amy's conditions, she really isn't an outside person anyway. She can't get about very well. So, as far as separately goes, it hasn't really done a lot of damage to Amy. The only thing it's done to Amy is she hasn't been able to socialise with her close friends, which has hurt her a little bit. But apart from that, it's done very, very little to Amy. Very little. As far as I go, it's kind of a double-edged sword for me, because it's helped me out in one way, because it's allowed me to know what actual friends I've got. But it's also done a lot of damage for me, because it's brought me back to how I was in the middle of 2016. Which, if you follow me videos, was not a fun time. it was not a fun time whatsoever. And it's kind of shot me back into that mode, where it's stuck in a rut. I get up, I have food, I play a game, whether that be PS4, Switch, whatever. Since I can't play sports outside anymore properly because of the injury, which really took a lot out of me. It basically changed my life overnight, pretty much. I'll get into that in a further video, but it brought me back into the mindset of I'm regimented football, attempting sleep, which is quite ridiculous, to be honest. My sleep pattern currently, as I'm filming this, I'm on an hour and a half sleep in the last 46. So if I don't look my best, I apologise. I'm not good at the moment as far as that's concerned. But personally, apart from dragging me back into a stuck routine, it's not done a lot for me. It's not changed a lot for me. It's not. It hasn't been something that I've thought much on. It hasn't given me much to think on, to be fair. It hasn't changed much of my life, really, as far as socialising, going out. Yeah, it has overnight, but during the day it hasn't bothered me whatsoever. And obviously during the night I've got my games and whatever. So that hasn't really done a lot to me. And it's done even less to us. So thanks for the question, Dooms. I really appreciate it. Just to close out the video, a little disclaimer. This is the 8th time that I've tried to record this. Twice with my partner. Twice my phone decided to die for signal. And twice my internet died. And then once, for some reason, I lost the footage. For some strange reason. My internal hard drive decided to go belly up for some reason. So this is actually the 8th time I've tried to record this. I hope that's been enough detail for you. I'm going to leave it there. If you like the video, leave a comment. And I will make another video as soon as I'm able. Catch you later, guys. Bye now.